Hello.
Hello.
Everybody.
Don't think it's recording, actually.
Yeah, sure. YouTube's got it.
Alright. Hello.
Yo, what's up? That was,
We had a
stressful.
couple of technical difficulties just occurred to us, and to be fair, we did get here a little bit late, but welcome to the 3 Quarter Guard podcast at 12 on Sundays, live at live.3quarterguard.com. I'm Eric C. This is my co-host and technical master, Eamon Shane Tierney VII, who just came from heaven in his white hoodie.
Yeah, I'm wearing this because my skin's really, I want to say fair, but no, it's pale.
I would have said pasty, but go on.
Okay, that's fair. And then my shirt's really dark, so you see, like, if I only have that, then it's really bright, so I gotta rock this really.
I just gotta get him
white
some black wrap, and then he'll be fine. Put some black wrap right above the light on him. Shout outs to my production people out there who probably aren't watching, but it's all good. But yeah, let's dive right into it. We're about Jesus Christ, it's 12:30.
Yeah.
Khabib versus Conor McGregor. Khabib defeats Conor McGregor round 3.
Sorry, I was pulling my microphone a little bit.
A rear naked choke, and then pandemonium ensued.
Yeah.
A race war, if you will, occurred between a bunch of people. Throughout the night, apparently there was a lot of stuff going on, like behind the scenes. There was a lot of like fights and brawls around the concession stands and in the crowd. It was like a soccer match or something like that. But yeah, it ended with Khabib beating Conor in the 3rd round. Then having words with Dylan Dennis, Conor McGregor's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach and head training partner, and they had words. Khabib went over the cage and literally jumped at him like an eagle. There's actually a clip out there on someone's phone where you literally see him kind of fucking jump up and try to knee him in the face.
Yeah.
And yeah, they went into a little brawl. A bunch of security went out there, tried to stop Khabib and Dylan Dennis and separate them. During this, Conor McGregor is in the octagon with little to almost no officials in there. About 3 people from, I think, Khabib's camp scale the cage and throw punches at Conor. I think actually Conor threw the first punch, didn't he? When he saw what was his name? What was his name? We were just talking about him too. We saw. Just find him real quick. Pardon me, everyone. Oh no, it's up higher. Yes. Zubara Tukugov.
Yeah.
He was supposed to fight Artem Lobov at UFC Muangthong, but instead yesterday because he scaled the walls.
Yeah, canceled.
And,
well, he's basically cut.
He's basically cut. Yeah, essentially everybody involved in the incident last night who were Khabib's people, and I think some of them were young prospects on their way either in the UFC or have had a fight in the UFC, are now cut, are not going to fight in the UFC again. I think they were arrested, but Conor is not pressing any charges. And yeah, I think they're trying to just sweep. Like Conor's team essentially wants to sweep this under the rug, but that Nevada State Athletic Commission, man, they're unruly. They don't like people not following the rules.
Nah, the that's you. What's it called? Yeah, so I mean, it started with Khabib jumping into the stands.
Yeah,
then
he was emotional.
One of his teammates ran across the octagon and then was going to jump over the fence as well. And Conor saw him doing that and swung at him. And then he jumped back down. And then they're, yelling at each other. And then I guess that's that guy. What the fuck is his name? Why are you live?
Just letting people know that we're back on. Yeah. All right.
What the fuck is his name? Taku. Damn.
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce. Tukugov.
Tukugov? I just didn't even really know his name.
Tukugov. It doesn't, not going to find the UFC anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, his fight with Artem Lobov is off. He went there. But
yeah,
actually,
so he
Conor
was the one in the red hoodie, I think, right?
No. He was the one that Conor swung at first.
Oh, he was the one in the black hoodie?
Pretty sure he was the one that Conor swung at first. Or he was the
So
last.
yeah, so there's another guy. He jumps over behind Connor.
Actually, I'm looking at
and
the
then
video
while
right
Connor's yelling
now.
at that guy, this other guy in the red hoodie jumps in, starts swinging at him, and then Connor's getting kind of like
No,
attacked
it wasn't
from
him.
both
It
sides.
was another person on their team. The guy in the red shirt and then the guy in the black shirt tried to get at Connor, but Connor was able to dodge him. And then the
So there were
third
three
person,
guys, but I only saw two people.
the third
I mean,
person that came in afterwards, I'll show you the videos actually, like right here. Two guys came in at the same time. I don't know. I think the guy in the red shirt, his intentions were to attack Connor. But the first guy, I think, was just in there because, he just, I don't know, he didn't look like he was
they said
going to
someone
attack
was
Connor
choking
first.
him. They said
Yeah.
someone grabbed him from behind or
I
something.
think that was Tukugov. Pretty sure that was Tukugov. I'm saying his name. I'm probably butchering his name. I apologize to any Dagestani people out there.
It was like a bar brawl.
Yeah, man, pandemonium ensued, and then afterwards, Khabib was outside. They brought Khabib back in after they got rid of his boys in the octagon. I think Connor was taken out of there, and Dana White went inside and told Connor that he couldn't award him the title. During that time, I thought that they were gonna
award who the title?
he didn't want to put the belt around his waist
Khabib.
because
Yeah.
it was essentially going to ensue a riot. Absolutely,
Oh, I mean,
I
he
agree.
kind of incited a riot anyway.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, it definitely would have incited a riot. We were gonna put the title belt immediately on some dude who just essentially did that. It was, and his crew. I mean, once again, his crew are they're all grown men. They do what they do. They make their own decisions. But it was still his camp doing that. So this all looks bad on Khabib, unfortunately. And I mean, it was the biggest fight of his career. Just not the right time to do that shit.
Yeah. No. I mean, he was saying that too. But then he was also like saying, "Oh, why is nobody talking about him doing this?" But
Once
listen,
you
can't
flip the other coin, though,
you can't do that. You can't just like excuse yourself for doing that because somebody else did something.
What's different is I think
Like
Joe Rogan mentioned it last night that he's from Dagestan. They're from these people, or even from Ireland. These are people from different.
Yeah.
Their cultures are different. They're from different sides of the world. And Khabib was straight up as soon as he mentioned my dad, I'm sure it would be for anybody, but I mean he has 15 brothers. He pissed off 15 other men that are MMA fighters just as equally as he pissed off Khabib. If Conor didn't expect some sort of retaliation, he was foolish. I didn't think it was gonna happen last night like that. But yeah, it was. Huh?
Technically, Khabib started it.
I'm not excusing it. Yeah.
Khabib. No, I'm saying, but Khabib started it by trying to Herb Artem.
Yeah.
But maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe he was like, I'm gonna Herb Artem, and then that's going to get Connor's attention.
It's
and then something's gonna happen.
It's
and this whole thing's gonna go down.
Slowly but surely becoming some sort of gang warfare mentality and shit going on here. It's crazy.
Or maybe it's maybe
it
the
already
reason
is.
he jumped into the crowd and did all that shit was because he wants to build up another fight.
There's already a lot of rumors.
Maybe they were talking backstage. Maybe Conor and Khabib right now are sharing a beer on the beach. Yeah, they're just chilling. Imagine.
Mr. Always on Nate Diaz's side, eh?
Imagine. I mean, although I think Khabib's not supposed to be drinking alcohol, but maybe that's all a sham too. Maybe
it's all a sham too. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
no, honestly, yeah, it's probably he was offended. Conor said a lot of shit, but he says it. Although I don't know, it was weird because I think there was something personal there. I don't think it was just for a show. I think he was, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, man, they're trying to make this into the biggest pay-per-view of all time.
Like I said, it doesn't.
It
doesn't exactly excuse him. Oh no!
Jesus.
I was trying to put the live video so I could see when we're watching. But
turn the volume down first, bro.
Yeah, right. I should do that. Boom. It's on mute now. You're gonna. But no, yeah. It's just. I mean, it's unfortunate that it had to end that way. Like we said, if you flip the coin around and you look at the other side of it, like we said, Khabib was emotional. Him and Dylan Dennis were yelling words at each other. They both already had words on social media that they wanted to have some sort of grappling match or something like that. But then, the deal with his boys coming in and attacking Conor doesn't make Khabib look good. If anything, it looks Conor look good. People are very sympathetic to Conor, nobody's even talking about Conor losing right now. Conor lost. We're not even talking about the fight. Conor got dominated on the ground. The first 4 minutes, the first round was just Khabib tiring his legs out and wrapping himself around his legs and tiring him out. That was all part of the game plan. The second round, I think there was what was the round where they were actually striking and there was Conor's
round 3.
Yeah, when they did that in round 3, I was surprised that Conor landed a couple of shots and Khabib took them. Kept going forward. Khabib stifled Conor. Khabib knocked Conor down with that one like overhand right.
You're right, but when they got
Khabib was looking all right last night, and Conor was not looking great. There's gonna be plenty of people out there that are gonna talk about like, yeah, he like rested on top of him and it was boring about this and that. I agree with all that.
I mean, yeah, but
the fighting style is very boring.
That's kind of like what do you call that? That's how people expected it to go. I think people hoped that wasn't how it was gonna go, but you kind of knew it was how it was gonna happen.
I would say at this point the excitement level with that particular form of fighting, that particular form of wrestling, is irrelevant, because I mean it's always been like that. Wrestling has always been that very grinding, very like stay on top of you style. And if you pay attention to it, in the first round, he definitely like I said, Khabib kept himself wrapped around Conor's legs, but then by like the third round, like the end of the fight, Khabib was passing Conor's guard, not at will, but almost like a lot easier than he was in the first round. It was all calculated, and he literally played him on the ground game like a fiddle. He took his best shots. Yeah, that's how Conor hit him with. Conor hit like Khabib with his best shots. Khabib wasn't even too like staggered or anything like that. Conor looked plenty like he had a couple of lacerations on him. It was not a good.
Conor
it was not a good night.
Relatively unscathed though. Like Khabib didn't.
Yeah,
land a lot of
he didn't.
Like,
He didn't.
so
He didn't
like
alter his face like he said he was going to. He didn't smash him entirely. And during that time, I mean, Conor was definitely dodging a lot of the strikes. A lot of the ground and pound that Khabib had on him.
Pretty good defense as far as avoiding ground strikes.
He was also trying to pull at gloves and hold at the cage and different things of that nature.
Yeah, although like I don't think that changed a lot. Like and either way, like there was one round that I saw that he had him in the clinch and he was grabbing his gloves, but it was like 5 seconds left in the round. And it wasn't like all that much. There was one where Conor grabbed, I think, like the canvas, but Khabib took him down anyway. His grip slipped, and
I think I remember seeing that. Anyway. Yeah.
So it wasn't like it didn't have the biggest impact, but it was, it just makes him look extra pissed off.
Definitely,
for sure. But I was disappointed in Conor because the thing is, it's mixed martial arts.
Like I said, that's how the fight was supposed to go.
I think you can call Conor one of the greatest stand-up fighters of all time.
Yeah,
but it's hard to say that he's the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. Because if you can't at least, no one's saying that you need to be Olympic level at everything, but if you can't stop the guy from taking you down or at least get back up, then I don't know what there's to say.
If you're looking at that, I mean, you could also look at fighting skills, but also when you look at the big picture, technically now Conor's not one of the best champions. You could even say one of the worst champions in UFC history, because I mean he won 2 titles, sure, but he didn't defend either title once. And then when he lost the title, well, not even lost the title, tried to reclaim the one that he recently won, he got smashed. He got outclassed. He definitely got outclassed by Khabib. Khabib went in there and Khabib just
wrestling is different, another level.
It's a different thing. I mean, it's different from like running like triathlons and like biking all the time and going like 20, 30 rounds of boxing. Just when you're wrestling, it's just another thing. It's like you're tired.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you're still going.
Different kinds of cardio.
The only way that his cardio will get up to the level of like a Khabib Nurmagomedov is if he were to start wrestling today and literally continue wrestling for like maybe a full year. And if somehow every day though, and if he solidly like gets better at some dramatic fashion, that's the only way he's gonna stack up to Khabib's wrestling status. We said it was either gonna be a first or second round knockout from Khabib, or 3, 4, 5 rounds of Khabib mauling him, maybe finishing the fight at some point. And that's exactly what happened. Rear naked choke. It went how it was supposed. It went kind of how it was supposed to.
Yeah, it was.
But at the risk of sounding like a fool, I wanted to, completely say that 100%. Conor had his chance. Conor would definitely had his chance to strike at him and maybe like knock him out or something like that. But yeah, I mean, Conor was throwing shots at him and Khabib was unscathed. I'd never seen anybody take Conor shots like that. People usually stifled very quickly. I mean, there was a point I think where Khabib was a little like wobbly legged, but he never dropped to a knee. He never was like falling down. that never happened. And if it was, and if he did get hit with a couple of shots that did wobble him, he went for the grappling, he got the takedown, or he got the upper hand in the grappling, and he just worked the game plan that he was supposed to, and he got the W. But no, it's crazy because no one's even paying attention to Conor losing right now. Everyone's paying attention to honestly, Khabib, his camp, and the BS that they just pulled. Yesterday, there was a lot of news outlets out there that don't normally watch every fucking UFC. And that was probably not the best thing.
I think,
not the best
if
first
anything,
impression.
they're using that as kind of a, some kind of rationalization for a rematch.
Yeah, probably. Sure. I mean, I don't know that Khabib wants to fight him again. I'm sure they'll dangle money in front of him. But, yeah. I'm sure we'll, go back to this at some point. But let's move on to the co-main. Anthony Pettis versus El Cucuy. The former interim lightweight champion, Tony Ferguson, is back. Holy shit, is he back. And what a great fight he had with Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis is a tough motherfucker. People could say what they want about his championship reign. He is a tough motherfucker. He's game. Last night didn't prove it. I don't know what did. The only reason they stopped the fight was because he broke his hand. I mean, El Cucuy was definitely dominating in the second round with, the striking. He was finding his rhythm. He was doing his thing. Yeah. But El Cucuy was getting into his groove. Anthony Pettis got him with a couple of good strikes in the first, and he knocked him down, kind of made it seem like he was going to, knock him out. But that's not the first time Tony Ferguson's ever seen adversity like that. Came back in the second, got his footing, got his rhythm back, and the crowd loved it. The crowd was going in. The crowd was going crazy. That's what I loved about the most. The crowd loved it, and they were going in. They were cheering for Tony. Tony got a big W yesterday, a big fight. I'm sure he's going to get a bonus. Congrats, Tony Ferguson. Welcome back.
Yeah, Tony looked really good. Although, I gotta say, and it's people have brought it up before. Tony's he gets hit, man. He gets hit a lot, and it's a problem. I mean, that's the only problem that I see with Tony, and I think it's because he focuses so much on hitting someone and not on not getting hit.
Right.
But the pace he was pushing was crazy.
Pace is always ridiculous.
That was like a bantamweight.
Yeah.
In there.
It was crazy because at first, it was the way he was moving. Like when he got hit with those strikes, it was definitely like, oh my god, Pettis might pull up this upset. But it's almost like that puts him in a rhythm. Because before that, he was a little bit, you could see he wasn't exactly moving the way he does, getting, doing the little salsa moves and this and that. He wasn't doing that at first, Tony Ferguson.
Okay.
And then Pettis knocked him down. Pettis put him through, kind of through the ringer. He put him, through that shit. and he came back and he totally went into his flow. It's almost like he finds his flow in chaos, which is ridiculous. That's very difficult to do in fighting. And he always, kind of warriors back from that. It's nuts.
I love his tumbles.
He does that all the time. I love that shit about him. He's great.
But he's such a weird guy. If you see him
very
training,
unorthodox. Oh
he
my
does
God,
just kind of
it's interesting.
Fun stuff. He'll do anything. Doesn't matter. When he was doing something like that, it's it looks like that's some shit that a kid would do in a tumbling class when they're 5 years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's it's effective because
he incorporates
Pettis
it
was
somehow
chasing him down
in
and
his
he's
shit.
rolling.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you saw somebody rolling around like that was a grappling ace like Tony Ferguson in front of you, what are you gonna do? You've never seen somebody with that ground game get down on you like that. And Pettis has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he himself didn't seem like he wanted to get on the ground with him. No. It seemed like it was a mistake eventually because Ferguson striking out better. He started landing those hooks and those jabs at will.
He just had
him up against the fence, landing those sharp elbows when they were from the bottom.
Yeah, Pettis.
That was what changed it around also because Pettis is great on his back, but Ferguson really was great on his back.
Pettis couldn't, do all the flashy shit that you're used to seeing because he didn't have room for it.
Yeah, exactly. Ferguson was just on his ass. It's crazy how much he smothers him. He was kind of smothering Conor like how Khabib was smothering Conor, which is why Tony versus Khabib needs to happen. Khabib versus Tony needs to happen. Doesn't matter how. That's
the one fight at 155 that's been so evasive.
Remember when I said it before? How I said I don't think they're supposed to fight right now. I think Khabib or I think Ferguson are supposed to beat Conor first, or both of them are supposed to beat Conor first, and then they fight each other. They were supposed to fight each other 4 times. Khabib now beat Conor. It's clear who is better amongst those two. It is not clear who is better amongst Tony and Khabib. Conor's game was striking. Khabib totally used his wrestling to, friggin' like zero that out. Tony Ferguson's grappling is ridiculous. 10th planet Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. All-American wrestling. His striking is nuts. He's just so unorthodox. He's probably going to be, I wouldn't say the hardest, because I'll say Conor because of his striking was definitely the hardest. But I could say the toughest, because I could definitely see that fight going like a couple of rounds and both of those guys like beating each other to shit. Like I could see one of them going down for the wrestling and the other one kind of getting the upper hand and like switching positions and stuff like that. I could definitely see that being a great fight. Probably one of the greatest lightweight championship fights of all time. Tony versus Khabib needs to happen.
Yeah. Hopefully that'd be a fun fight. Fucking weird fuck Tony. He was talking a lot. The press conference, interviews and stuff. He's been trying to get more to the camera.
It's good, but
he needs to. He needs to talk up. He needs to fucking get in the people's lens.
He kind of. It was funny because like he's a very something of an enigmatic guy, because I was. Excuse me, I woke up with a bit of a bug in my throat. He's kind of a bit of an enigmatic guy because during his interviews, he'll kind of say one thing, and then 2 minutes later, he'll like kind of flip it around, say another thing. Not to say that he's fake or anything like that, but it seems like he likes to say exactly what he's feeling at the moment. When he first got into the conference, he was like saying like, I got a chip on my shoulder because he took my fucking belt away. Like, why wouldn't I have a chip on my shoulder? But like 15 minutes later, he mentioned something about, nah, there's no chip there. I'm just here doing my thing, whatever. But it's not kind of totally flipped around his attitude. Maybe like him being in front of the like interview cameras or something like that kind of like brought some familiarity to fight week, and it made him a little bit more happy because he was cutting that weight. But yeah, he's just very his interviews are very interesting. They're very like you never know what he's gonna say. Sometimes he's angry, sometimes he's smiling, sometimes he's not. It's very like with Conor, you always know it's like some loud shit talking shit about somebody and I'm the fucking best. But with Tony, it's just his shit is totally unscripted and like off the dome.
He's a little cringy though sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I mean, it's real though. People are cringy. Everybody's cringy. People say things sometimes. People like bite their tongue sometimes. Makes him a real individual.
He's just gotta sharpen his tongue a little bit. But no, it was good. It was it's good to see him, talking some shit. I think it even said about about laying off the chicken McNuggets and the tiramisus, and it's because I guess corny after a while. But
he's a dad.
He's got his dad.
He's a dad.
Jokes.
He makes dad jokes. Dads make dad jokes, bro.
Yeah, he was weirding me out during the fight. He looked straight up like some kind of vampire when he had all of Pettis' blood on him. In the beginning
everybody was
round.
Like, "Yo, where's he?" Everybody thought Tony was cut. We're like, "Where's he bleeding from?"
I knew it was
and
Pettis
you realized
because
it was Pettis bleeding
it was
on
like
him,
coming down on Tony's face. I would love a picture of. I think it's after they cleared
the blood from Pettis' face.
Yeah.
I know exactly which one you're talking
and then
about.
Tony still had some of his blood on his face.
He had blood on his shoulders also.
And then he's got like his head kind of tilted down. He's looking at him. He's smiling. And he looks like a fucking.
It's crazy, dude. Like Kokoi, man. Fucking Mexican boogeyman, bro. It's crazy, dude. Like, I don't understand why, like, some people kind of just, like, forget about him. Don't pay attention to him. I don't understand why they do that.
Because he doesn't talk enough.
He's dangerous. Doesn't matter. What does Khabib? Khabib does not.
But no, but he's got, like, 1 million people going on Dana White's Instagram and commenting Khabib.
That is true. That is true. But fucking A, dude. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Tony doesn't have the fan base.
No,
I think that's
not really. No, he doesn't care for a fan base. He just posts his shit. He posts his shit online. He doesn't really have people coming to. He doesn't have people coming to his gym cheering for him like fucking Khabib had at AKA.
He needs
like,
a publicist. He needs somebody.
He doesn't have millions of people like the media going after him like Conor. He's just doing his thing. He doesn't want all that shit. Doesn't give a. I think he's signed with the same publicist that Conor has, or like the same publicist that Chris Cyborg has. Something Chris Cyborg signed with something under Conor McGregor, and I'm pretty sure Tony Ferguson is part of that.
I doubt that Tony would be part of something like Conor's.
Maybe like a talent agency. I forget what it was, but anyway.
Gross. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm just after seeing that the lightweight division is just still exciting, and still the top two guys are still there. Even when Conor wasn't here, Tony and Khabib were the top 2 guys, and they're still there. Both of them are now on 11-fight winning streaks. Both of them have not lost in 11 fights. Khabib hasn't lost at all in his 11 fights in the UFC. Tony hasn't lost in 11 fights, and he's been looking great and dominating everything. The biggest difference between Tony and Khabib is Tony finishes his opponents.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the first, sometimes in the third, sometimes in the second, but he just
Khabib
does it.
finished his last 2 out of 3.
That's true.
He didn't beat Quinta.
No, he didn't.
Or he didn't finish
it. Quinta. Yeah. He was being careful. I mean, that was.
His fucking problem is that he finished Conor because Conor got tired, man, and Conor needs to stop. He needs to fucking. He needs to just like. He doesn't. You want to be the greatest of all time? Fucking just start wrestling, man. Just wrestle full time.
It's different,
get that shit,
Like I said, it wouldn't matter if he started wrestling now. He would never get to the caliber.
No,
maybe, but he would never get to the caliber of Khabib.
It's not about being as good of a wrestler as Khabib. It's about being able to fight somebody that good.
Well, no, but even so, though. But I mean, the cardio that comes with the wrestling does come along with that. Yeah. Because if you're a person who's like on top and you get tired, then eventually you'll be able to get turned over. Let's say Conor does get great at wrestling.
If you're training that wrestling for months and months and months, like you're gonna be at least able to. You should be able to at least stop them from taking you down for the most part.
It's a lot easier and it makes more sense in a training camp to figure a way how to defend somebody's style than to learn an entirely different new style. That's another thing.
Well, that's what he needs to be doing. But in order to do that, he needs to.
Well, if that's the case, then we're not going to see Conor for like another year. Next time we're going to see him, like he won't get that Anderson Silva super fight that he wanted. He'll be gone again. I mean,
maybe
at this point, he's not the best in the division, and there's definitely another person that's been there, in Tony Ferguson, who could be the champion. I don't know. I think right now, Conor should stick to super fights, honestly.
Maybe he needs to just stop pushing his fucking whiskey. And
he's a businessman, dude. He's thinking about like a legacy and his family and all that other stuff. You can't do that with fighting unless you start like promoting yourself and then build up on that, which I don't think he does. I mean, 12 proper.
12 proper for life.
All right, let's move on to another fight.
Derek Lewis. Volkanov. Yeah.
Real quick before we continue, last night was a great night of fights. Yeah. It was unfortunate what happened at the end, but last night's fights were friggin' awesome. Was that the? I think. Oh no. Well, OSP and Reyes was after that. But whatever. We could talk about Derek Lewis.
Was it? Okay. Was it?
We can talk about Derek Lewis though, because Derek Lewis. I mean, other than the last two, the co-main and the main event, him and Alexander Volkov went about 3 rounds. Volkov definitely got the better of the exchanges. Was using his kickboxing.
He was winning that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Derek Lewis was tired too. Derek Lewis was tired, drained per usual. He's a big guy. He gets tired like within the second round, sometimes late in the first. Then what was it? I think it was like at the 20-second mark. Literally at the 20-second mark, he goes in for a quick left. 1-2, bam. Lands the right hook, knocks down Volkov, does a couple of ground and pound. KO. Probably the best heavyweight comeback I've seen in a while. Since remember when Duffy got knocked out? Remember the big dude Duffy in the heavyweight division?
Todd Duffy.
Yeah, got knocked out by Josh Rosalt, or like he was like a fat guy.
He got knocked out.
Yeah, because he was fucking up this guy, out wrestling this guy for the majority of the fight, and then the third round.
Jared Rosalt.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, something like that. That probably the best comeback in heavyweight history since that, because he was going to lose the striking. It could have been a 30-27, across all the referees.
That's when Tuffy just came back, and I think he knocked out Frank Mir or something, right?
Yeah.
I think it was something like that.
Who?
I thought he knocked out Frank Mir.
No. Frank Mir knocked him out. That was like a slobber knocker they had.
Oh, that was okay. That's what
when Todd Duffy had he did. Him and Frank Mir had like a bit of a slobber knocker together. That was an awesome fight too. But yeah, man, Derek Lewis comes out of nowhere. He definitely deserved that $50,000 bonus.
I mean, he was saying after the fight, like, I think Joe Rogan's like, yeah, he definitely, this and that, but they're talking about the title, and he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I need to get my ass, do some cardio. He's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He's so real. He's so
I
real.
think Derek, yeah, he knows he's not ready for a title shot just yet.
That's so funny.
And, yeah, I mean, his last couple fights, it's been, they're really slow. He's just not throwing a lot. He's I don't know. I don't know if he's getting tired or if it's his back. You know, it was fucking funny. He's like, he's asking, he's like, why'd you take your pants off? He's like, my balls rot. Yeah, let him breathe.
I like his realness. His realness is always great.
Yeah,
his realness is always
straight
refreshing.
shooter. So
he's a straight shooter too. He's like, I almost got fucked up. I got lucky with them last 20 seconds. It's like, goddamn. I like Derek Lewis. He's definitely a fan favorite too. If you haven't checked out his Instagram page, please do. The Beast at UFC, I think. Or The Beast.
The Beast UFC.
The Beast
Black
UFC.
Beast. The Black Beast.
The Black Beast at is it the? I think it was the Black Beast, and then he changed it. He might have changed it, but regardless of that, yeah.
So we're gonna probably see him on the JRE soon.
Yeah, man, great fight from him, and yeah. But Alexander Volkov was looking good with the striking, though. He was doing his thing with the striking. He just got caught by Derek Lewis at the end, man.
Yeah,
and last night
he
was
looked
also good.
Pretty good. He looked good against Verdum.
He did look good against Verdum.
He made Verdum look bad. He was outstriking.
He made Verdum look real bad.
Derek Lewis, really well. I thought he was gonna finish him. To be honest.
Yeah, the Beast UFC is.
But you know what's funny was because we were watching the fight together last night. I like it was towards the end of the fight, and I was like, this what?
I was like together. Because you said we were watching the fight together. We were watching.
Anyway, yeah, so we were watching the fight, and then, Volkov had been dominating the whole fight. So I was like, yeah, if this goes the decision, it's gonna be his fight, whatever. I think I was gonna go grab a slice of pizza. It was just like 30 seconds left. But then I was thinking to myself, I was like, what's crazy about these fights is like,
God, I was
it's hard. I can't leave right now because.
You could
literally it could just be one punch.
Seconds. That's a crazy thing about.
And then 10 seconds later,
I was literally thinking there was literally
shit.
30 or 40 seconds, and I was thinking damn, he needs to get a really late KO right now. I'm like, can he do it? And that was at the point where he was going for the ones and twos.
Volkov was being very careful.
Yes, very much, but he wasn't really backing up from him when he was going for the ones and twos. Fucking Lewis found his range. Landed that overhand right, and I was like, what? That was probably one of the crazier, well, next to the end of the evening. That was probably if not the crazier moment of the evening last night. I saw how
tired Derek Lewis was, and I just knew that he just needed to have short bursts. There was no way that he was going to, outstrike him technically or, and especially how late in the fight, it just got... worse and worse. He just needed to get a knockout. And he fucking got it, man. That's crazy. Goodness, did not expect that shit.
Yeah, man.
And then, you had OSP Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes, up and coming fighter.
Uh-huh.
I think he was 12 and OSP was 9 or something like that.
Yes.
So this is his first top 10 fight.
His first top 10 fight. He's now with OSP. No, before OSP, he had his last 4 fights were finishes. 2 of them were submissions. 2 of them were TKOs. But he put on a good showing last night, and it was actually.
I thought it was a KO last night.
Everyone thought, there was some confusion because at the very essentially almost at the buzzer, Reyes landed was it an uppercut? If it wasn't an uppercut, it was an overhand right on OSP, and OSP just crumbled down and fell. As soon as OSP falls down to the canvas. We hear the bell sound off, and then you see the ref kind of standing over him because the ref is like, "You got to get up." He's like, "If you don't get up, I got to call it for him." And I think John Anik mentioned that he was saying that oh no, he was just telling OSP that you have to stand up to walk to. Yeah, he wasn't calling it, but he's like, if you don't stand up and walk to your stool, I have to call it a He's like, I have to call it a KO victory. He's like, okay. Yeah, because you can't get. I don't think you could get saved by the bell in MMA. Not at least not in a knockout sense. Because after that, the referee will look at you, and the referee will be like, "Can you get to your corner?" And if you can't get to your corner, the referee stops it right there.
Probably got a couple seconds to go.
He almost stopped it. I think people
thought
he
they was knocked out because
yeah.
He got hit, and then you saw his legs buckle.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he hit the mat, he hit the mat with his arms out, and he was he looked like he was in another world. What?
You had your hands up like this.
It changes it so much.
You look like Irish Jesus.
Yeah, he looked like he was out. He did. He looked like he didn't know.
He looked like he stiff-armed a bit. He was like, oh. But then he kind of came to real quick.
There was another 10 seconds in that fight. It was gonna be a TKO.
Absolutely, yeah, I think so. It would have been a KO. If there was 5 or 10 more seconds in the round. definitely could have seen it a TKO victory for Reyes. But I mean, a great showing with OSP, who's a great striker, a great counter striker. But it honestly looked like OSP got tired after like the end of the first round. The other guy was very.
Was it that fight? I think so. That was the first round. I think Reyes outstruck him like 60 to something, like 40 or 60 to
64 something. To like 17,
9, 8
I think, or something like that.
No, this is even lower, I think.
Mm-hmm. But
single digits.
Yeah. But no, man, great showing from him, and we're definitely going to see him in the future. His cardio was definitely better than OSP. We forget OSP is a big dude. OSP could be heavyweight if he wanted to.
Yeah,
but yeah, Reyes was he kept his cardio good.
I'm happy to see some new flesh in the light heavyweight division. That shit is
crazy,
pretty weak right now, and it's almost dead.
No.
You know, maybe a potential challenger for John
Absolutely.
Jones at some point.
I mean, right now we've been essentially circling around Gustafsson fighting John Jones or Cormier or Jones and Cormier again for the past 2 years. So some fresh new blood in the light heavyweight division is definitely a good thing. We could see what happens with him.
Is that a saying? That's like some new flesh. What is that a saying? That's kind of a saying, right?
It's kind of gross, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds like a pervert.
All right. Sorry, Dominic Reyes. I did not mean to objectify you.
Great showing by Reyes. Nevertheless, the first fight of the night. What did you want to add something?
Huh?
Were you gonna? I
mean, I was just gonna say, just go into DC. I think DC said that his last fight at light heavyweight, or the only fight I think he would take at light heavyweight, would be against John Jones.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
If they do a third one, I think you can't go wrong there. Everyone would want to see it. Everyone's gonna tune in to see that.
This is true.
But Gustafsson's.
I would love to see those guys fight like all the time. Like I would pay to see those.
Well, the thing with John Jones is he's going to fight a lot. Like DC, he has 1 or 2 fights left. We thought that him fighting Lesnar was going to be it. I don't think but the thing is, I don't think he expected John Jones to return this early.
As quickly.
I think he thought that John Jones was going to have a a couple years.
I don't think John Jones was going to come back until after DC was done.
Snitch,
and by that point, it's like, oh, they were. Damn.
Then he wouldn't.
Damn.
If he wasn't being all snitch.
Damn. Did that news come out this week or last week? Did we talk about that last week?
I don't know. I think maybe we might have touched upon it. But yeah, if he wasn't a snitch.
If you guys don't know about this, John Jones is eligible to fight at the end of October. I don't think we did talk about it. John Jones is eligible to fight again at the end of October. He originally had a sentence from USADA for a second tainted sample.
Yeah.
He was up for 30 months.
30 something months.
He was going to get 30 months. 30 months, 2.5, what was that? That's 2 years and 4 months.
Wait. What was no?
Because they said they cut it in half.
No, I think they cut it by 30 something months.
Oh yeah, because it was supposed to be 40.
And then they cut it down to 18, and then going retroactively now it's going to be up because it's been a little over a year.
Yeah, that's true. Are you sure? I thought it was 15. Maybe you might be right.
I think they cut it by like 30 months. Yeah. So it was,
No. It was 15 because remember it happened at UFC 200.
Or whatever, they cut it down. Yeah, I think 15. Yeah.
All right,
but it was
anyway,
like 30 something.
Yeah.
So it would have been another like almost 3 years that he wouldn't be able to fight.
But yeah, essentially he made a deal with USADA saying that he would cooperate with them in future cases where they would try to find, I guess, like sellers and like athletes that are using steroids as well.
Give him some good shit.
And essentially, down the line, whenever they come up to Jones, they're gonna be like, "Hey, so which one of your friends is taking steroids? He's got to cooperate."
Man, he's like a informant.
I don't think he minds it though. He's mentioned before that he doesn't really mind it. I think he just hates the fact that it's, the whole snitch thing is being pulled on him.
I wonder what his teammates think about that. I'm sure there's got to be somebody at Jackson Wink that's juicing.
Yeah,
there's got to be somebody.
Right, I'm sure.
And I'm sure he's gonna give them up. So.
Alistair was for a bit. He stopped.
No, bro, come on, it was horse meat. Let's be real. Okay.
Damn.
Don't sully the name of the great Uberim like that.
My apologies. Damn.
Even though he'd lost half a human.
But regardless of that, real quick before we get off the topic, Michelle Waterson defeated Felice Herring also via unanimous decision, which was also a great fight. Herrig? What did I say? Herring?
Herring, yeah.
Yeah, I did say Herring, didn't I? Yeah, I did say that. Herrig. And in a pretty great showing. Yeah, it was a great showing of a fight. I liked it a lot. The Karate Hottie definitely got a couple of foots on Felice Herring's neck.
Got a couple of foots on him.
A lot of neck kicking last night. Felice Herrig's neck is probably all bruised up this morning, unfortunately.
Some nice elbows.
Yeah, nice
Good
elbows
elbows
being landed. A lot of stand up too. A lot of stand up too. A very fun fight. A very entertaining fight for Michelle and Felice. It definitely delivered to the fans. It was a great night of fights. It was definitely a great night of fights. I don't remember there being
wants to be
the most boring part of last night was
champ.
Khabib on top of Conor the whole first round. Then after that, I mean, everything was kind of moving around a bit, and you know. What I'm saying, the most boring part of last night was just the first round of Khabib versus Conor when he was on top of him.
That was probably the most boring fight of the night. No, yeah.
Because in the second round it got better. They started standing up with the striking, and Khabib was actually moving forward. It always ended
up on the ground.
Yeah, but after that, Khabib was moving forward and actually trying to strike and actually advancing rather than just pinning himself on Conor's legs.
Because it was more stand up. But
that was Conor's last shot in the third round. Because like I said before, if he didn't get a knockout in the first or second,
he landed some
Khabib's
shots,
fight
but
to win.
Khabib did an okay job of not getting hit too bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got hit, but he didn't get hit with any big. He didn't let him set up any combos or anything.
Right. And in the prelims, Jusimar Formiga defeated Sergio Pettis.
That was boring as fuck, man.
A little bit, yeah. I realize,
I
think every time one of the Pettis brothers loses, the other one loses on the same.
Well, they both
if I'm
lost.
not mistaken, yeah, yeah.
But, I thought you said one loses, one wins. Are you saying they both?
No, when one loses, the other one. Yeah, you're right. When one loses, the other one loses. You're right. I always do that. Pretty sure I'm dyslexic. But
no. I mean, I think you said that, but I think
I meant it the other way around. I did mean it the other way around. Yes, that whenever one loses, the other one loses, or whenever one wins, the other one wins.
Okay.
They both share in their triumphs and defeats.
I think people might be hearing this. I keep playing with the show.
But
it was just a lot of clinching, holding on to
Jusimar Formiga definitely got the better of the clinching. At the end of the fight,
he was on his back against the fence for the last 2 minutes of the round. I was just
not the most exciting, but still a good showing from.
You can see in Pettis' face too.
Formiga.
He had him on his back, and he's just all right, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was right. That was also the point of the time when he had him on his back. I feel like what Pettis should have done is just hold him up against the fence, kind of try to spin into it. If he would have even,
he had the body lock.
If you're even slightly able to get your elbow in and at least tuck yourself kind of halfway, the person will let go of that body lock because they're afterwards you're literally facing them and all you have to do is fucking take them down. You get the upper hand.
They should put.
Had he been able to at least attempt to get his elbow in and try to spin into his the hold he had on his back. Yeah. Formiga would have probably let go of that lay lock, and then he would have been better off. But I mean,
they should put spikes on the cage.
Yeah.
And then, someone jumps on your back, you give them a nice little, a little grating.
I thought you meant on top of the cage to make the cage look cooler. You mean on the fence so that it stabs into people when you go up against the fence.
Stab them, grate them, put cheese graters on the fence. If you want to be up against the fence, you get a nice little slice.
Vincent Luque defeated Jalen Turner via first round
KO.
Vicente. Thank you for that. Vicente. It could be Vicente. It's probably not.
Yeah, but you said Vincent, I think.
I said Vicente.
Oh, whatever.
I might have said Vincente. I told
Vicente.
You, man. I might be dyslexic, bro. I thought I saw an N there, actually. No, I don't see an N. But yeah, he won with a first round KO. 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Great showing for him. Aspen Ladd defeated Tanya Ebinger. Tanya Ebinger is a veteran in the game. She looked great against her, actually.
I thought maybe it was little quick of a
it was because they recapped the Gray Maynard Nicolette's fight afterwards. It was a quick.
No, I'm saying it was quick. It was. I think the ref called it a little quick.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, it was gonna.
By that point, she was kind of just hitting her over and over again in certain spots, and Tanya Ebinger was just kind of waiting there. You can't wait there. You can't just stay there and block 7 or 8 shots because
eventually
you're still getting hit. Your hand isn't metal; it's not made of granite. It could only block your. And if somebody hits you hard enough, this ain't doing shit. There've been plenty of people who have blocked their head getting kicked, and then they still get knocked out.
So Khabib was postured up and raining shots on Conor.
Yeah.
At least Conor was, moving his body.
He definitely trained for that, though. I feel like he definitely trained for that. He
wasn't just covering up. He was actually trying to move and avoid
Not a lot of people do that, though. Conor was training for that specifically.
But that's why, as I think some people were saying probably it was going to get stopped, maybe. because he was but he actually.
I saw that it looked like that for a minute. I noticed that as well. I'll be honest. I've never really seen anybody do that, so I was kind of thinking the same thing. I thought, holy shit, they're gonna stop the fight because he keeps landing them, and then it wasn't about till I think you pinpointed it out. They're like, he's not landing these shots.
He's moving, yeah,
and I noticed that.
Jesus.
I noticed he was really like just weaving back and forth, but it's crazy because I've never seen anyone do that. I don't know, and it's
but that's what you. But the thing is,
that's a lot of core strength.
Intelligent defense. That's what it is, right?
You're
on your back.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's intelligent. And Tanya Evinger was not doing that. She was literally getting laid like at least 5 or 6 shots, and then she's kind of moved.
She usually has those brawl kind of.
She's the one that brawls a motherfucker out. Like she'll brawl and lay on top of somebody for 15 minutes, elbow them, and just grind them down. And then when she's done, she goes and vomits in the corner because she's just tired out of her mind. I can't count the times I've seen that woman vomit in Invicta.
She fought Cyborg, right?
She fought Cyborg. Yeah. Cyborg, like for the featherweight title, for the inaugural featherweight title, I think. Oh no, that was Holly. That was her first title defense.
Maybe,
yeah. Right. Well, she fought her, and then she just totally fucked her up. I mean, Tanya Evinger's game is a gritty, grinding style. I kind of was calling her like the John Fitch, I would say, but even more so.
I don't know. I mean, except John Fitch, I think, has better cardio, to be honest. He doesn't really get tired.
I mean, well, that's the thing with Tanya Evinger. She plays that, like, laying on you game kind of like how Khabib does. So because of that, she doesn't really, like, she can be tired and she'll just lay on top of you because she's like, all right, let me catch my breath.
Yeah, you can do that.
Back to punching. Like, she'll do that. You'll see her do that, but she just keeps fucking going. The grit and determination in Tanya Evinger is fucking insane. But last night, Aspen Ladd definitely got the better hand, and she looked great. I mean, 23-year-old. That was actually a lot.
Nick Lentz.
Oh yeah,
was that the one before that? I think it was the one before that.
Well,
that was also the one they showed after that.
That was replayed because Aspen Ladd defeated Tanya Evinger so quickly. But yeah, great showing for Aspen Ladd, 23-year-old, up and coming bantamweight. Was it bantamweight or featherweight? I'm pretty sure it was bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see what else happens with her. We'll see. And she actually did go through a bit of adversity because Tanya Evinger, I think, was getting like, she did take her down first, and then Aspen Ladd got the upper hand on the ground, and then did the ground and pound that she did. But yeah, shouts out to Aspen Ladd. Great freaking fight last night, taking out a veteran and Tanya Evinger. It's only gonna bring your stock up.
Yeah.
After that, we had Nick Lentz and Gray Maynard. We'll talk about that.
Gray Maynard needs to retire.
Damn.
Goodness. He's had his time in the sun.
I would say so.
I think he's fried at this point.
I would agree. He tried to drop to featherweight. I think that didn't work for him.
That was a featherweight fight too, I think. That one too.
No, that was a lightweight fight.
That was lightweight?
Nick Lentz, I think, went up in weight.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's he's just not. He's not having any good showings anymore. He's not he's not the same Gray Maynard that almost beat Frank Edgar twice. You know?
What's crazy about that too is I feel like
actually he did beat Frank.
He beat him the first time. He beat him the first time.
He beat him the first time. The second time was a draw.
They tied, and then the third time Frank Edgar beat him. He wanted to run it back again. He was like, I think we were going to run a fourth round because we tied, and then, but I literally think Gray Maynard reached his peak during those fights with Frank Edgar, because after that he was kind of never the same. He lost again, and then he kept doing like the win losing streak kind of thing. So
I'm gonna look this up because I'm not sure what it was, but I know what it looked like. Gray Maynard appears to have a tramp stamp of a whale's tail.
Yes, a whale's tail.
And I really hope that isn't what I think. I really hope that's not that. It's bad enough that it's a tramp stamp, but to have a whale's tail.
You and Brandy explained this to me yesterday. What is a whale's tail again? For
a whale tail.
Don't know, and for me,
a whale tail is. Have you ever seen like a woman that has like a? I guess it's got to be like a thong or something because it's like the underwear is kind of short. It's kind of small at the top.
Sure.
So if their pants are below the the panty line, you'll see the panties over the pants, right? And then it'll make the shape of what appears to be the tail of a whale.
Okay.
And that's what I think his tattoo is.
I've seen that before.
I really hope that's.
I think it's bat wings.
I really hope so.
Pretty sure it's bat wings. He
Let's
got
see,
that a while
Ray
ago
Maynard
too, and
back
you could tell he regrets it because he never
thought
shaded
so.
it in again or anything like that. And it's just green and gross
That's
looking.
really bad.
That was probably just something he got like on a whim or some shit. Oh, whale's tail.
A fucking dare, I hope.
I thought that was called a wedgie.
Nope. That's the whale tail, bro.
Never knew
It's
that.
something. Actually, I think it might not
But now it's getting itchy.
be a tail, but it looks like it. So I'm just gonna say it is.
Well, he's
For
got
my own
okay.
amusement. Anyway,
I think tramp stamp would be just as bad, but okay.
good. So yeah, good on you, Nick Lentz, the Carney.
Way to be. Second round TKO.
Or is that Darren Knuckles? No, he's the Carney. Nick Lentz is the Carney.
Nick Lentz is the Carney, yeah.
He's the Carney.
Who
Darren
else?
Hawkins is
We
the
had
damage.
another finish. Scott Holtzman defeats Alan Patrick via third round KO. Couple of late stoppages yesterday. Not like I said, not a bad great night fights. And Tony Martin defeats Ryan LaFleur in the first fight of the night and the Fight Pass prelims via third round KO. That was a good one. Tony Martin landed a almost kind of laid good juju on the evening of fights. Laid a high kick to Ryan LaFleur's head, knocked him down. Good fight by him. But yeah, man, great night of fights last night. What the fuck is going on now with this goddamn lightweight division? Didn't I call it that at some point I felt like whoever wins Poirier Diaz will probably be considered? I don't think.
Well, that's
Dana,
why I'm thinking that.
I don't think Dana wants to make Tony and Khabib. I think he thinks that fight is cursed. I'm telling you, they were not supposed to fight. The MMA gods, they're not allowed them to fight until one of them beat Conor, and one of them just like really made it seem like no, we don't need Conor here because I'm better than him.
I think Conor Khabib too.
I don't think so.
And then
I don't want to see
Nate.
that. Why?
Poirier.
Conor doesn't
versus
deserve
Ferguson.
a rematch. Conor doesn't deserve
And
a
then
rematch.
the winner of that fights the winner of Khabib and Conor.
Where's Tony? I didn't hear you say
Fighting the
Tony.
winner of Poirier.
Oh, Poirier and
Diaz.
that? Yeah, maybe, I guess.
That sets up the number one.
Especially because right now we're not even sure. We're not even sure if Khabib can get a visa to fight again.
Yeah,
We're also
that's
talking
what
like
I'm saying.
Khabib might be able to
just
fight.
that, but he could get a suspension from.
He could get a suspension.
Nevada
He
Athletic
could,
Commission.
yeah, he can get a suspension. He
So
could have
who
like
knows when he's
criminal
gonna be able to
problems.
fight again.
He's lucky that Conor didn't press charges against his boys. They don't get a fucking criminal record or something like that. But yeah, they're gonna have problems with the athletic commissions and visa and all that other bullshit. So fucking dumb. It sucks.
And
It
then
sucks that like he had to. I mean, I get it. You get emotional, like it was personal for him and this and that. But then it's like your boys did that shit, and not only that, just the tension in the air. Brendan Schaub said it himself. He's like, I don't want to go to the fights because I think something's going to go down with a bunch of Russians and a bunch of Irish people, or a bunch of Dagestanis and Irish people. That's exactly what was happening throughout the night. It was just stupid fans also.
No, but I also think it was just Conor fans versus Khabib fans.
Yeah, it was. No, absolutely. But I mean, that's what he was talking about. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's exactly what was going on
crazy.
throughout the night. It was freaking crazy.
And it's also not necessarily like fans of this person, fans for that person, fans for this person, that person. I think
MMA
it was
hobbyists,
more
bro.
like drunk people who
MMA
want an
hobbyists,
excuse
bro.
to fight, and
yeah, absolutely.
they gave it to him. So
MMA hobbyists, bro. Fucking ruining the game for the true MMA fans. Like, that bullshit happens. Ugh. At first, I thought when I saw the dude scaling the walls, I thought it was fans. I thought there were like 3 fans
that guy
randomly coming into the crowd to attack Conor. And I was like, holy shit. What
I
if
thought it
that's...
was going to be an eruption in the ring, like after
Absolutely. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. It's true. Somebody said it. After that, they were afraid that it was going to like trail into the casino and into the streets. Luckily, I think...
Well, that's what happened with
they were able
Holyfield and Tyson.
Yeah.
It leaked out.
They were able to contain it, though, thankfully. Like, the police from the casino.
They contained it within the stadium.
They did, yeah, thankfully. They were able to contain it. They were able to stop it, separate all the proper people. It wasn't like, but it wasn't like a whole, like, 20 people on 20 people kind of thing. It wasn't like a big-ass gang fight kind of happened. It was just like you said, just stupid drunk people fighting other stupid drunk people. Dumb. MMA hobbyists who don't fucking show up to these things and know who the hell they're cheering for. Going over here.
So yeah, the only person that's kind of like hanging out there right now is Kevin Lee. He doesn't have a fight.
What
and
is going
he's
on
just
with Kevin
it's
Lee?
weird.
How
He's just
could I
kind
forget about
of
Kevin Lee
out there. He was talking shit though. He was talking shit to everybody.
He lost a lot of. He's a big lightweight. Maybe he should think about moving up to welterweight.
They need the 165 pound. division. They need 165. They need to move welterweight up to 175, and they need a 195.
I'm not crazy about the 165 belt idea. I'm just really not. I don't know why. I just like the way things are now. But right now with Diaz and Poirier trying to headline MSG, right now with the whole weight cutting thing going on, I think now is the best time to do that. I mean, literally all you have to do is move all the welterweights up to 175. And then create 165, and you're good right there. I mean, you don't need to create a 195 belt right now. Maybe eventually, yeah. But I mean, for now, just
170 is the division that a lot of people cut a lot of weight for.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of weight.
That's the one that
185
you had people like Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah.
You had people like fucking Darren Till. You had people like fucking Rumble Johnson.
Here's also another thing though. Those guys were all so big that they would have trouble cutting weight to be 185ers. They wouldn't be able to cut down to middleweight. Remember, Anthony Johnson was trying to cut to middleweight to fight Vitor.
Vitor, and he missed weight on that one too.
Yeah, he missed weight on that one as well. Like Darren Till, freaking, he's like, he says, I'm a huge dude. I could be a light heavyweight. All these people, Johnny Hendricks balloons up because he could be a light heavavyweight. A lot of these people are like fighting at 200, 210 pounds.
Well, it's weird because 170, 185 are both very far from the next division, right? So
definitely.
170 is 15 pounds higher than 155, 15 pounds lower than 185. 185 is 20 pounds less, or 15 pounds higher than 170 and 20 pounds lower than 205. So it's like a really weird area. Like if your natural weight is like not there obviously, but a little higher than that, then you're kind of tempted to go to one of those divisions, but it's like could be weird for you.
No, it's true. Definitely.
But also, and instead of making all these fucking interim titles, if you have more divisions, then you have more titles to make more, main events.
I was literally just gonna say that. Like at this point, since they need super fights, they need championship fights. Why not create 2 more weight classes?
Yeah, super fights too. Then you got
literally have people. Yeah, I mean, right now, like that was another point I definitely was gonna make. It was like right now is definitely the time to do that because I mean, you need the money fights, you need the championships, you need the people that are like at the head of divisions fighting people at the head of other divisions. At this point, it doesn't seem to matter. I mean, the person, if you look at it in the most logical way, in the most straightforward way, Conor McGregor is the guy that people want to fight at featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight. And they make, oh yeah, he's the double champ, he's the champ, about this and that. They give him all this praise. He did not defend either one of his belts. He won both belts and vacated them. He's technically if you look at the long range of championship legacy, that's not a good legacy to have. But they want to see him fight at different weight classes. Why not make more belts? Have him if he wins the 165 belt, that's just more people wanting to see that champ fight people at that weight class. It just what are they doing?
And it's also, you're also gonna have people fighting closer to.
I'm sure somebody's rolling their eyes at me right now and saying that's a stupid plan, or better easier said than done. I'm like, sure, but then isn't it stupid to create a bunch of interim titles that you're gonna take away from a person anyway? Like, why not just make another weight class and then you could have more championship fights amongst people? I mean, that's what's the money fights for boxing. That's what makes boxing make so much money. I mean, yeah, sure, it sounds like, and it's not even it's like a corrupt thing or anything like that for just make more money because the athletes need this. Like I said, it's a big cut between 170 and 185. If you literally just make it 175 to 185, those 5 pounds make a huge difference.
Yeah, you get
cutting
guys
down
closer to their natural weight class. They're gonna perform better. They're gonna feel better. It's better for their safety. You might have people who just don't know if they want to do MMA even because they're like, oh, I don't even know where I fit in there.
Well, let's say me and you are at 190. Me and you are at 190, and we both like to cut down to 155 to fight. It might be easier for me to do that. I might be able to cut down 155, and I'll be fine, and I'll fight, and I'll be good on fight day and all that other shit. For whatever reason, just because your body and your genetics are different, you can't cut down all the way to that weight class in time, or maybe your diet is different, or this and that. I don't want to say that it gives more leniency to people cutting weight.
No, but it's better to fight closer to your natural weight.
It's better to fight to your natural weight. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Everybody's got a different build.
But
even if we're the same height, doesn't mean I have just as much back muscle as you do. Some people, they got more muscle on their back or their legs are, thicker. So just in that, the muscle amount that they have in whatever part of their body makes them fight differently, make them cut weight differently. It's all
But that's the problem
relative?
with those gaps, big gaps.
I'm using it the right way, right? It's all relative.
So what?
Like your weight, you cutting weight is all like everything is like. It's not everybody. Everybody can't just cut weight. Let's say we're both 190 pounds. Doesn't necessarily mean we're both going to cut down to 170 the same way. So all these little things you have to kind of keep in mind. And I like having more weight classes, having more belts would definitely make things safer.
Yeah, I think UFC needs to get on that.
You go.
And yeah, I think there's no losing there. You know.
At first, I remember Dana said he didn't want to make so many weight classes because he didn't want so many belts being like switched off and being like doing this and that.
Like
that was like maybe, but that was like 4 or 5 years. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. Now all of a sudden they're just you get a belt, you get a belt, you get a belt. Like I said before this, there was technically 3 champions in the lightweight division: Khabib, Conor, who never got the belt taken off of him, and Tony Ferguson, the interim champion. Technically, there's 2. Now in my mind, there's 2 champions.
Oh,
Tony hasn't lost.
Tony still carries around his belt with him.
He hasn't lost it. Yeah, doesn't have a reason not to. I mean, he's been beating everybody. He won. He beat Kevin Lee. He beat Anthony Pettis. He's had the bigger opposition lately.
I mean, he's fought. He's definitely fought the bigger fights than Tony. I mean, than Khabib.
I think so. I'll definitely say that.
Like I would definitely give the belt to someone who beat Kevin Lee over someone that beat Ali and Quinta. No offense, Al.
No, absolutely. I mean, Anthony Pettis was a former lightweight champion.
Ali Quinta was not just
Ali Quinta was on the prelims that night,
but also beating him on what was it? It's like a 2 days notice or something.
Like a day notice, maybe. Like a day notice, yeah.
But then you also go to like, you give it to Khabib a little bit because he had 2 different short notice fights because they were giving it to, he was gonna fight Tony and then he couldn't, and then Holloway came in like 2 weeks notice. And then they brought in Ian Quinta on like 2 days' notice. But just a mess.
All over the place. And most of that was due to that was due to the injury. But sometimes people missing weight fucks up a card.
That's also another.
Maybe if they fought at a weight class higher, or maybe if there was another weight class in between 155 and 170, these people wouldn't be like missing weight. Pettis almost missed weight. He was the very last person to like go into the weigh-ins, and he was at 156, I think.
I mean, I got to give it to Tony for coming off. He had this surgery 6 months ago.
That was a tremendous feat for any human being.
He came back and looked really good.
He looked great. He
Dominic
looked like the
Cruz,
El
who is
of old.
no stranger to leg injuries. Said he was like, I think he said like, you shouldn't be. It should be no less than like 9 months before you're, at the level your leg is to fight, that kind of fight too.
A knee injury is nuts, especially that's at least 6 months of like just like letting it recuperate before you even start rehab. He was good with rehab. He was good to start rehabbing after 4 months, and then he just like literally trained 2 months for this fight. That's insane. That's just like humanly impossible. Not even for like a fighter, for a human being. That's insane. And like afterwards, after he won the fight, I mean, he got embraced by Eddie Bravo, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach. Shout out to 10 Planet. Yeah, man, it was a long, it wasn't even a long road, 6 months, but goddamn, so much happened to him in those 6 months. He literally won the interim bout, he won the interim bout, got it taken away from him, got injured, came back from that. it's very amazing what the human body can do and what the human sure will can do for you. It's pretty freaking amazing. But yeah, I mean, congrats to him once again for winning last night. Definitely like a huge win in a huge way. I think he deserves the next title shot.
Yeah.
I think he deserves a title shot. But well, now that we spoke about all that stuff, I just wanted to share one quick opinion of my own. Not to say that I hate Conor and his antics, obviously, because he's like a jerk and blah blah this and that. His fighting style is ridiculous, though. His striking is amazing. He's definitely his IQ in the octagon. Like, if he were to rematch Khabib in any kind of way, I could definitely see him like finding other ways to possibly beat Khabib. And I would still be like, Khabib mauled him. In a rematch, I gotta see how Conor does, because his ring IQ, his octagon IQ is so great. It's almost like maybe he'll learn how to like avoid adversity that time. It's a crazy photo. He looks.
It's that mouth guard too.
Yeah, the mouth guard with the teeth. It's fucking awesome. Oh, Tony. But I mean, last night, he lost. I'm not saying I'm happy Conor lost, but I'm happy that the division can continue to move forward. Because he was holding the lightweight division hostage for a while. They made these interim titles. They had all of these fights fall through the cracks. It was a big mess. And the lightweight division is one of their primo divisions in the UFC right now. They have a lot of big stars. They have a lot of great fights. The pool of sharks, as another podcaster would say. And Conor was talking about fighting Anderson Silva. Like, what if he beat Conor last night, and then afterwards he's like, I want to, and like, let's say like what I said before would have happened. Let's say Conor knocked out Khabib in the first round. Conor was unscathed. I feel like he would have tried to fight Anderson Silva at MSG to get that money fight, to get that super fight, and then it's like, all right, what about your lightweight belt though? Like, he literally would have held it hostage again, and he probably wouldn't have fought for like another year. And it's just, I didn't want that. There's a lot of like up and comers in the lightweight division that I want to see him go against, and that I want to see Khabib go against, which is why I don't want like somebody who can fight once a year because they got the money. I don't want them like holding the title like that. I want a fighting champion, and I feel like Khabib will be more of a fighting champion than Conor. Conor's going to jump from divisions, and he can do that now freely.
Except that
just don't hold the division hostage.
Just retire.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens after last night. I mean,
but
he was supposed to.
What happened?
I actually thought he was going to say something like that at the post-fight. He just made a statement at the post-fight press conference. Did you see that?
What?
Khabib came out last. He literally
only answered one question.
He didn't even answer any questions. He made a statement.
I heard
he didn't answer a question. He literally sat down and he's like, I want to apologize to the Nevada State Athletic Commission for what happened. He talked about how like Conor talked shit about his family, he talked shit about his country, drew a dolly at him about this and that, but he's kind of all scot-free. He's like, everybody's on my ass. I get what he was doing. He was kind of going like, he wronged me first, but two wrongs don't make a right. So that probably wasn't the best excuse for him. But then after he said that, and after he said like, thank you for everybody, like alhamdulillah, like all that stuff he says, he just left. People were trying to ask him questions while he was leaving, and he just like grabbed his belt, posed for the camera, bizounced. Didn't answer any questions.
He was saying like, my father's going to smash me.
Yeah, my father's going to smash me when I get home. No sweaters. But yeah, like people wanted to ask him questions. He made the statement and bizounced.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, it seems like he doesn't have to worry. I mean, for now, I don't think he has to worry about like anything criminal as long as Dylan Dennis doesn't like sue him. Imagine if Dylan Dennis sued Khabib.
No, I don't think he would.
Fuck? I don't think so either. I never thought Conor would sue like the other guys, but I don't fucking know Dylan Dennis.
imagine the UFC signs Dylan Dennis and he fights Khabib for the title. That would be so stupid. This would be the darkest timeline.
That would be the darkest timeline.
This is an interesting little statistic. The co-main...
God, I hope I'm not getting worse.
The co-main... Where's this? Oh, yeah. They combined an average of 29.3 attempted strikes per minute, or just shy of a strike thrown every 2 seconds of the entire fight.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Wait, who was that? Tony and Pettis? Or?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Almost a strike thrown every 2 seconds.
That's pretty friggin' awesome.
that's such a high pace.
I mean, it doesn't say they all landed, but...
No, yeah. Those are attempts.
But definitely, yeah.
Dana White says that Khabib might get his title stripped.
No.
I think that's
by the commission. Yeah,
no,
maybe.
They can't do that. The commission cannot take your belt. No. It's only up to the organization. But they might do it because, if the athletic commission says you're going to be suspended for the next year, 2 years, something, the UFC might just say, hey, we got to take the title.
Yeah. I thought you meant like Dana White was just going to strip him of the belt because he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. He was like, you know what? I didn't like what happened last night.
And I don't know, man. Khabib, he did what he did. There was talk of him retiring. Him jumping out is not the action of a man who cares whether or not he's going to be fighting anytime soon.
That is true.
So he might just give it up and go back. And
at the same time, though,
hang out with Putin.
If the commission in Vegas does whatever it is that they do, he could fight in Russia. Lightweight champion fighting in Moscow. I mean, if he doesn't get a visa properly, he could just go to fucking Russia and fight there. I mean, the UFC would just have events in, Russia?
I don't know.
Maybe. or even somewhere around there. But I feel like they need to take advantage of that soon. Like, if Khabib is going to fight in Russia as a champion, they need to do that next, or they need to do that, like, at some point.
As disgusting as all this is, I can't help but think that Dana White was scrambling last night to find someone to edit this video for the next promo. Just get ready to go.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, why? I would.
It's like they have the dolly footage, right?
I would. Why the hell not? Literally, if they have a part 2, that's gonna
be all over. That's
gonna
be
see
the main
dolly
thing.
footage. You're gonna see that shit. You're gonna see news coverage. You're gonna see news outlets talking about the Irish people fighting the Russians or the Dagestanis all throughout the arena. You're gonna see mad shit. They're gonna make it literally seem like this is a race war.
I think they said DC
are the two men to end it.
I think DC John Jones was probably like the most heated
individual, rivalry amongst individuals.
Like personally,
I agree. This
might trump that.
This is like a gang fight. But this is just so much more than just. It's so much more than just personal rivalry,
or is it just going to be?
There you go.
The crowd's going to be ready to go.
It's so much more than just personal shit, dude. At this point,
imagine
if Conor and Khabib do fight again. They can't make it in Ireland, and they can't make it in Russia. It's got to be in the U.S.
They're going to have it in the Ultimate Fighter Center with no crowd and nothing, and they're just going to have it there by themselves.
I mean, hey, if they literally charge somebody 10 G's per seat, VIPs in there, that's a pretty good buyout. Run like exclusively on UFC Fight Pass. How many people would try to subscribe or try to do that shit?
In front of just the media. Imagine it's just media and celebrities.
That'd be really crazy. That'd be really funny. That'd be nuts. They could do that. Now I keep thinking about that possibility. But yeah, man. I mean,
honestly, I think the reason Conor gassed so much is because he had to go to the ring first, and it was full of fog, and he had to breathe all that shit in, and they sabotaged him.
That's fair. Yeah, the UFC sabotaged Conor McGregor.
They did.
Their poster boy.
Pieces of shit.
So that the wrestler that's boring.
No, they set it up for a rematch.
Quote unquote.
They set it up for a rematch.
Everyone else says he's boring wrestling guy. Yeah, that's what
they set him up for a rematch, just like in boxing they set fucking Triple G up.
The only reason I would never agree with that is I absolutely know for a fact that is a big thing Dana White has a problem with. And he's always had a problem with that in boxing. He's very vocal about like the corruption in boxing and talking about how they give decisions to one person, how to give decisions to another person, this and that.
He's a promoter.
Well, I mean, he hates the judges themselves. He himself says like the judges get it wrong sometimes. Like, what am I gonna do? The judges made this guy win. Like, if you want to win, knock the motherfucker out. I don't know. I in that sense, I won't exactly like give. I won't exactly say like Dana is corrupt in that sense. Maybe the whole like.
It's all set up. It's a deep state operation. Government's in on it. Russian government's in on it. They've been in cahoots.
Speaking of which, Putin called Khabib last night and congratulated him.
Yeah.
All right. That seemed to make Khabib very happy.
Of course.
He's like, by the way, Putin called me, congratulated me. The ego. It's crazy though. The footage of him like jumping out of the cage and like literally trying to jump on top of Dylan Dennis with a fucking knee. He literally looked like an eagle perching down trying to grab a fucking prey with his talons. It was such a crazy goddamn sight.
Actually, does Dylan Dennis have a Twitter? I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
I want to see if he put.
I'm sure he does. He put some shit on there. He put something like "you're a pussy" and blah blah blah, and this is that and the third. Yeah, man. UFC 229 will, for now, live as a UFC event in infamy. A lot of great fights.
He didn't post anything. Huh.
He's probably been busy, man. Probably been busy with some shit. Probably been busy with Conor. At this point, it's like what's nobody's really released other than him talking right after the post fight press conference. Still gotta wait to see what Nevada says. Still gotta wait to see what Conor says. Still gotta wait to see what Dylan Dennis says. There's so much fallout from this dude. So much fallout. And at this point. Everything is just it sucks too because the biggest thing is sure it gets like attention, but this isn't the kind of attention you want for the sport, especially in the sport where right now you have like you're getting the ESPN deal.
The police escorted Dylan Dennis out.
You got the ESPN deal coming up in a couple of months. You're switching from
not a
Fox
good
to
look, man,
ESPN.
yeah.
It's not a good look. It's
For the
definitely
sport,
not.
that's
I mean,
not
it
good.
sucks. And especially right now, Khabib's trying to build a legacy for his title reign. He's the first undefeated champion, and an undefeated champion with the record that he has. I get it. He was emotional. And like, I see it. I understand. He's from like a different way of life, all that. But it's wrong place, wrong time. The whole, Kanye saying George Bush doesn't like black people thing all over again. During Katrina.
Yeah.
You remember. Yeah. We were old enough for that. Yeah, man. That's...
All right, well, yeah, I don't know. What else is going on? I mean, I guess
that's about it for
nothing
now.
else really
Yeah,
matters,
I mean,
right?
that was the big thing right now, all of a sudden. What is
This is going to be
coming up
in
next
the news.
week, though?
This is going to be in the news for a long time. But yeah, you know what else I heard? I heard that the governor of Nevada was in attendance.
Oh.
So that's
not
good.
good.
That's a really bad look.
That's no bueno.
We've got Anthony Smith and Volkan Ozdemir.
Got Anthony Smith, Volkan Ozdemir.
Well, that's in a couple weeks. That's not next week. That's in a couple weeks. But
yeah, I'm trying to see what the very next one is.
That's a big fight. Yeah, that's the next one. That's a big fight for Anthony Smith.
That's a big fight for the light heavyweight division.
Because he's kind of up and comer, kind of the legend killer.
Yeah, man.
Although Volkan is not one of those guys. He's actually kind of young, right?
We'll see how he does with fresh blood.
Volkan is like I think late 20s.
Oh yeah, right. Oh man, we don't have UFC for a bit.
So,
oh no, we don't have anything going on
like
for
the
a
next
couple
2
weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
Oh no, but it's all good. 3 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. It's all good though. We'll still show up on Sundays, maybe late. I keep looking over here, thinking that the camera's on top of the screen, and it's not.
No.
It's over here. We'll keep coming in next couple of weeks, talking about things that happened. We'll talk about the result of this, talking about fights coming up. I'm sure John Jones and Daniel Cormier are going to share some fight tweets. Things are going on. Things are exciting. Things are being built up now in the UFC right now. Even though the most hyped up fight of the year happened, everything is going to be, like, let's say, down for a while. Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, we do have that happening. Volkan also... Oh, man, that was the next... that's UFC Moncton. That's how it's pronounced? Moncton? Moncton? Moncton, right?
Moncton? Yeah, I guess.
UFC Moncton. That'll be on October 27th in 2018. Just real quick.
Oh, you sure it's not 2019?
It might be 2019.
Or maybe 2017. Maybe we go back and...
Wow, I guess that's a co-main that's not going to happen anymore. Because the co-main was Artem Loba versus Zubaira Tukhugov.
Nope.
That's not going to happen anymore.
Everybody your career, Tukhugov.
Yeah. Having a good fight. You got Misha Serkunov fighting Patrick Cummings. Patrick Cummings, that gritty son of a bitch, always fighting somebody. Alex Garcia versus Court McGee.
Wow, Court McGee is still in the UFC?
Yeah, he still fights, bro. He still brings the good fights. He still comes in there.
He doesn't fight very often, though.
Yeah, but when he does, he does his thing.
He's got a grinding style. I think he wrote a book.
Jean Vellante is going to go against Ed Herman, light heavyweight as well.
Short fuse, Ed Herman?
Gavin Tucker versus Andre Sukumtab. I like Andre Sukumtab. Sukumtab or Sukumtab? Whatever. But yeah, a couple of fights coming in about 3 weeks. October 27th for UFC Montauk. There's going to be a bit of a break in between. Is there any Bellator coming up?
Chael versus
Fedor, right?
Fedor is coming up.
Oh shit, I think that might be next week or mañana.
That's coming up real
soon, right?
That's America versus Russia right there.
Fucking Chael, yo. Such a fuck. When is that happening? Oh, here we go. Next week. Yep. October 13th. Yeah, 9 p.m. You got Fedor and Chael Sonnen at the heavyweight world Grand Prix for Bellator MMA. Wow, what the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah, that should be a great one. We'll see what happens. I think maybe, I don't know, Fedor, you think, or Sonnen? I think Fedor is the natural heavyweight, so that's why I'm going for him. But
I don't know. I don't know.
You seem like you're over this. Oh, actually, I'm a fool. This week is when they have a double headliner kind of thing. On Friday they have Matt Mitrione versus Bader. Essentially, whoever wins that is going against whoever wins Chael Sonnen versus Fedor in the heavyweight Grand Prix final. So yeah, this week we might have to be watching some Bellator, brah.
I think
happens
Sonnen
there.
wins. I think Sonnen wins.
You think Sonnen wins?
Yes.
Interesting.
I think Mitrione wins. I think Mitrione's too big for Bader.
Bader's strong as fuck, though.
Yeah, but I think
Bader's
I think Mitrione.
Bader's stronger than he looks, and he looks strong as shit. Bader's like a real strong motherfucker, so I don't know. I mean, maybe Matt Mitrione does get him with the light footwork and the.
He's pretty athletic.
Yeah, he is. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, Matt Mitrione is athletic. When he puts it together, when he puts the striking together with the takedown defense and even the wrestling, he does his thing, but just sometimes he doesn't really find that flow. If Ryan Bader could neutralize him. But I would say Matt Mitrione probably has more tools. He has more tools. He has more movement. He's the more athletic guy, so maybe he does have the better shot. But at the same time, I mean, who amongst that? I mean, what are the possible matchups we have right now? And have Matt Mitrione against Fedor Emelianenko in a rematch, and that could be the final. Well, no. I'm saying like whoever wins Fedor versus Cheo goes against whoever wins Bader versus Matt Mitrione. But I'm saying like Matt Mitrione wins. Who do you think has a better chance of like beating Mitrione, or who does he have a better shot of beating in the finals?
I think the winner of Mitrione Bader wins
the whole tournament.
Yeah.
I could see that if Fedor is past his prime and
Mitrione already beat Fedor.
Yeah, he did do that.
Fedor's kind of past prime. Sundin's a really small.
Really small.
You know, he was a kind of small 205er.
He was
for heavyweight. He's super small.
Yeah.
I'm only saying I only think he's gonna beat Fedor because I think he's gonna kind of do what he did to Rampage, is just out wrestle him and
win.
He's just gonna win. He's not gonna put on a crazy show or anything. He's gonna win.
Right. Right, you are, sir. But what is that gonna be? Bellator? What?
It's gonna be on DAZN. DAZN. That's what they call it.
Is it really DAZN?
They call it DAZN. Yeah. It's really stupid.
Oh, okay. That mean it's two separate words then? It's supposed to be like an acronym for
I have
DAZN?
no idea, but it's pronounced DAZN.
Oh, okay.
Very
up until now, I literally thought it was DAZN.
That's a very stupid name.
I mean, DAZN.
It's really stupid.
That makes a lot more sense. Oh, I feel so much smarter now and less dumb. Why don't they have a Wikipedia page for this shit? I'm just trying to see what other what the card is on this thing for this week. It won't show me. Come on, Wiki.
Too bad. Time's up. See you guys later.
Damn. But no, we can wrap it up though if we want to, because I mean we've talked.
Yeah.
About what we need to talk about.
I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing us talk. So, I'll be back.
We'll be back next Sunday. To everybody who saw UFC 229 last night, I hope you enjoyed the night of fights as we did. I hope if some of you MMA hobbyists out there saw the other cards, the other fights on the card, you maybe want to check out future UFC events. They're always great. The next major UFC is UFC 230 at MSG, November 3rd.
Ciara Eubanks versus Shevchenko for the vacant
flyweight title.
The inaugural. Oh no, not inaugural. That was Montana. Sorry, it is the vacant, but not the inaugural.
We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks.
Montana didn't want to.
What I think.
Not that she didn't want to. She was sick and things happen, and I don't think she'll ever fight again. But
Joanna?
No. Montana.
Maybe not. But
yeah, something happened with Joanna, but we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, we'll be talking about that in the weeks to come.
Thought she was gonna be fighting, but
I'm not happy about this MSG main event at all. But we'll talk about that in the coming weeks. So yeah, follow us. We're gonna try to put up some more stories on our Instagram. Put up a little bit more, material, things of that nature. We're going to be here next week at noon. Hopefully at noon next week, and hopefully we won't have technical difficulties in coming to you guys at 12:30. But, yeah, from myself, Eric Chiriboga, and my compadre, Eamon Shane Tierney VII, we are 3-quarter guard, and we're glad you joined us this Sunday, and have a great week. Keep on MMAing.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. Bye!